Hey. Okay. All right, it looks to be working. Yeah, 2 people joined so far, 3. Just getting my tripod set up here. I am outside the place I am staying here in this town of Island Park. And the sun is beating on me right now, but hopefully it won't be too loud out here with traffic going by. I just thought that if the LTE was gonna work, it would be outside instead of in the building. So hopefully I am right about that. Let's see. Yeah, hello from Colorado. It's so nice to see you looking all chipper tonight. Yeah, yeah, I'm in a pretty good mood. Here, honestly, this is the crappiest, most disgusting motel that I have ever stayed in. But you know what? I'm gonna be in a bed tonight, even if it is gross, and and I'm gonna be, you know, drying my stuff out. It rained yesterday, and sleeping bag's kind of damp just from condensation, and I'm getting to soak my toes in some Epsom salts. That they had Epsom salts in this town, so yay. So anyway, how could I be in a bad mood, right? And I have Gatorade, you know, to drink. So anyway, all things are good. My clothes are being washed in the coin operated laundry, so that's why I'm wearing my puffy. It is not cold right now, but you know, it is what it is. So okay, let's see. Nice sunny day. Yeah, the sun is setting over there, so it's like blinding. That's why I have my sunglasses on, because otherwise I'd be blind out here. But let's see. Ron says, hi Dixie, nice to see you again. Lloyd says, hi from Michigan. Hey Dixie. Hello from California. Girl, y'all are burning down over there, aren't you? Let's see. Hey there, lady. Hi Dixie, how are your toes? Okay, so the toes, they're still pretty gross. I don't know if I can show you without like, yeah, probably not. Well, let's see. No, well, maybe. Okay, I'll take this down and then set it back up since somebody asked. But let's see. You can see that one looks pretty gross. I don't know if you can, if I'm doing any justice here by you being, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that one's the worst one. The right one's the worst one, but they're doing better. I am taking my antibiotics, and I just soaked them in some Epsom salts. So the left one is doing better. The right one is, I think, a little worse, actually. I also got a needle, so I'm gonna drain them. And yeah, so anyway, I'm doing the best I can. Hopefully, this town would not have a podiatrist. But I'm gonna be in Lima, Montana next. And for those of y'all who might have missed it, I am in Island Park, Idaho right now. So, you know, if they're not better by the time the antibiotics run out, then I will probably consider something else. But I'm trying to clean them several times a day, trying to wrap them in gauze just to keep them, like, keep some of the dirt out of them. Been putting Neosporin on them, so, you know, I would like to soak them in hot water or warm water a couple of times a day, but the problem with that has been I don't have fuel canister. I have a fuel canister because Yellowstone didn't sell it, and I ran out of fuel there, and this town apparently does not sell it. So, but Perk has assured me that in Lima they do have it, which, by the way, Perk might wait for me. I posted this earlier. Perk might wait for me in Lima, so not 100% sure on that yet, but as of now, that's like 3 to 4 days ahead, 3.5 really to 4. And so even if he were to leave tomorrow, you know, I'm a lot closer than I was. So, okay, so let's see. Let's see. Anne says, hey girl, you're looking good. Well, I just got bathed, so I don't smell as bad for sure. Let's see. You haven't stayed in a Motel 6 lately, have you? Yeah, I have, and this is worse. Like 100%. Like, sorry for the the big old Mac Daddy truck that just drove by. But anyway, yeah, Motel 6s, you know, yeah, you get bare bones, but like this is gross. Like there's some of these house slippers in here that I think maybe resided in this room before we came in. I mean, it's disgusting. Like I cleaned, there's like a kitchenette thing. I cleaned the sink out before I soaked my feet in it. It was, well, actually Aaron cleaned it out, but yeah, it was that disgusting. So, but anyway, yeah, okay. Let's see. Hello from Vancouver, Washington. On my evening walk, passing by cow pastures now. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm familiar with those for sure. I am not a stranger to cow pastures. You know, it's kind of nice though. Take a little stroll around, look at some cows. They're always funny. Like when they're eating grass and they've got like a piece stuck there, I'm always like, you got something in your teeth. You know, I just like talking to them. But Leslie says, it is good to stay in a truly horrible place. It makes every other place seem palatial. Yes, it does. You're very correct. Like, yeah, it'll make me appreciate, you know, even my tent probably. No, I'm just kidding. It's, you know, it is gross. There was like hair in the bed and it's just, I don't know. It's just, bless its heart. But let's see. Taylor says, hi from New Hampshire. Tabitha says, hi from North Carolina. Glad you could soak your toes. Inspired by your videos, my girlfriend and I are hiking through parts of the International Appalachian Trail in Newfoundland this whole month of August. Loving it. Oh, man. Well, that's really cool. I hope y'all have a good time out there. That's, I bet that's a lot. That's going to be a lot of fun, and that'll be something that y'all will never forget. And I'm sure you'll have really high highs and really low lows, and that's pretty cool the whole month. That's a decent amount of time to really get a feel for it. So Jeff says, War Eagle Jeff. Yeah, Aaron and I were talking about that today. Football season's about to crank up before too long. Can you show us the inside of the room? Yeah, I mean, I can do that. I probably won't do it right this second, but as we close up, I will do a grand tour of the room. And you'll probably be like, it's not that bad, but like, it's like the stuff that when you look closely, you know, like the like toilet, the back area there behind the seat hadn't been cleaned, and the shower is just kind of gross, and like there's carpet in the bathroom and like on the spots on the floor. I don't know, it's just nasty. But yeah, I'll do that. Mac says, are you going to do another song for us? I don't have any music. Like, I can't actually sing. That was T Swift singing. He's talking about a post that I made on Instagram and on Facebook on the Homemade Wanderlust page, because so I've had Snapchat that I only have like my siblings on, because when I was living, goodness, here comes another big truck. Sorry, y'all. When I was living in Colorado, my siblings were all either in middle school or in high school, and they liked to communicate through Snapchat. So I got it. I think I got it way back then. And so I've had it, you know, and I mainly just message them and stuff. But, ooh, this down coat is sticking to me sitting in the sun. But I decided to get it for the purpose of this, you know. So I have a Snapchat now for, you know, Homemade Wanderlust. And so today I kind of put that out there, and I put a video that I had put on Snapchat, and it was just me lip syncing to T Swift Shake It Off. And so anyway, that's what he's talking about. So yeah, if I had some music playing, I could, man, I'm on point with some T Swift. I love jamming out and hiking to her music. So I'm not saying it's good stuff, but I'm just saying it's good to hike to and get you in a chipper mood. So okay, so let's see. Let's see. Hi from Indiana. Awesome. That's, you know, that's one state that I haven't been to yet. I need Indiana, Michigan, Alaska. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Leslie says, looks sore. Yeah, it is pretty sore. Shelly says, hi, Dixie. How hard is it to find? Oh, Okay, there's the question. How hard is it to find stove fuel on the trail? Is it common to not find any like in Yellowstone? Okay, so on the Appalachian Trail, it is not common to not find it. It is very much available. It's strange to not find it. On the PCT, most areas, I can't remember specifically any that didn't have it. Maybe like my last stop in THRU-HIKE or something like that. But most places, like 93, maybe even 95, maybe even 97% of places that I tried to get it had it. Like the town somewhere. On this trail, it's been probably like, when I've tried to get it, 60% has it, maybe even 50-50. I mean, it's much lower on this trail to count on it, so I just don't. And a lot of times I'll just look for something that I don't have to cook, or you know, I'm pretty good about rationing. I don't usually eat a cooked meal at lunch now, so that helps ration. And for breakfast, sometimes I'm not eating cooked meals. You know, it just depends. Yeah, it really just depends. But I think for this stretch, what I'm gonna do is just cook on the fire some nights. Even if I have to build like a really tiny one. I know that there are some wildfires around, but like Yellowstone, I know didn't have any fire restrictions at the time, so I'll have to check for here before I do that. But so anyway, we'll see what happens. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, how is the BRS stove? It is temperamental. It is very lightweight. I do like it, and my brother was out here, and I could have gotten, actually he used my stove. He forgot to bring the pocket rocket. So the MSR pocket rocket is a few ounces heavier, I believe, or I think this one's like 1 ounce. And I think that one is like 3 to 4 maybe. And so it's much more stable, and when I turn the fuel off, it goes off. The BRS sometimes flares up, but I will say I accidentally washed the BRS stove in my pocket, or in my bandana, and it lived. So I would carry it, you know, if I went to do the TA in New Zealand, I would take the BRS as of now. So it's made it this far, and it hasn't blown up or done anything crazy on me. So it is temperamental, and it has a mind of its own, but the weight savings is worth it to me, and it's cheap. Fred says, can you give a demonstration of what hey-oh bear sounds like? Yeah, it's like, hey-oh bear, hey-oh bear, like that kind of, I guess. Maybe not as excited, more like, hey-oh bear. But you know, that's kind of how it goes. Hydrogen peroxide, Sparky says. Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. Should probably get some of that. I might do that in the morning or this evening. I did also get some tea tree oil. I read, and some other people suggested that might be helpful. They actually had that at the gas station slash grocery store. So yeah. Let's see, it's dark out east here. When bouncing a box, do you phone the post office and just ask them to bounce it? Thanks. That's a very good question. That's usually how it goes. Usually, yes. I mean, sometimes I'll be there in person because maybe I got another package delivered, and then I got that one and I want to forward it. So if I'm there, you know, I just don't open it and I say, I would like that one bounced ahead. Most post offices are cool about letting you call and say, I'd like to bounce ahead, you know, the package that you have there under this name. And most of them are like, sure, no problem. Where do you want it sent? Some of them are like, I don't know if we can do that. And, you know, and if it's priority mail and it's one of those flat rate boxes, they can do that. They might not know they can do that, but they can do that as far as sending it ahead without charging you. Now, sometimes I'll get things delivered, like say I get some new socks from Amazon or something, or I send something that's not that flat rate priority. Then I might have to do like postage due when I pick it up at the next place. So they'll charge me to send it then, but then I pay to pick it up, so it's no big deal. And sometimes they'll try to act weird about it. The only place that I've had that gave me fits about it was Mount Shasta last year on the PCT. Most places are nice, understanding, and will help you out. Unless they're Mount Shasta, and then they're a bunch of buttholes, and they just want to make everyone else's lives miserable because they are miserable people, and that is me being ugly, but that's like literally what I think about them, and they are awful. So, but I'm not gonna let that enrage me or upset me anymore, because I'm over it, and I'm not bitter at all, as you can tell. Okay, let's see. Okay, how many calories a day are you eating? That's a really good question. I don't know. I never really figured it up. I know somebody said earlier today I was looking skinny. It happens, you know. I think I don't really fluctuate on weight. I just, it moves to different places, like my calves, it's moved there pretty much. So it leaves my face and other parts and goes to my calves, I guess. But as far as the calorie number, I don't really know. Like this last stretch, I had Pop-Tarts in the morning with like maybe a handful of pistachios. A lot of times I'll have an instant breakfast in the morning, like those Carnation instant breakfasts. For lunch, I might eat like a wrap or tuna and crackers, or, you know, just something like that. So you got either peanut butter or some meat and cheese going on that. And then for dinner, normally I eat some kind of backpacker meal, which those vary. And then all throughout the day, I'm kind of snacking. So I know that doesn't really tell you a whole lot as far as a number, but I really should figure that out. I should track it one day just so I can give people a better idea. So, okay, let's see. Ooh, this thing is sticking to me, y'all. Ooh. Okay, let's see. War Eagle number 2. Woo! I know I saw a gross rolled tide down there somewhere. I'm not to that yet, but okay. Where in Indiana, Mike? Porter County here. Very cool. Some fellow Indianans. Indianans. There we go. Indiana Knights. All right, I'm gonna stop. Okay, let's see. Sophie says, "Hey Dixie, is the feed slow for anyone else?" I hope we're not starting to have issues. It's not doing anything weird here for me. Oh, maybe it is. It just went from like 17:18 on the counter to 17:21 counting seconds. So I'm sorry if it is, y'all. Howdy from Homer Glen, Illinois. Very cool. James says, there should be nothing to drain. The nail is still irritating the toe. Any doctor can take care of it. It's very minor surgery. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, like when they said to me, that frustrates me too, because when they said to me, we're gonna drain your toe, I'm like, I've been doing that for free in my tent with a pair of tweezers, like just stabbing it or pulling the skin. I mean, that sounds so terrible and it kind of hurts really bad, but like I've been draining it myself. And then I asked them, well, can I get some antibiotics? And they were like, oh, you probably don't need them. And I'm like, I clearly have an infection in my body right now. Like, I would like them. I'm not a person who takes medication if I don't like need it, you know, but so anyway, yeah, but they just like, just stabbed it and then, you know, charged me $319 plus 19 or 15 or whatever, $15 for the antibiotics. And we're like, okay, and put some iodine on it, you know. And that's pretty much it. So I knew that just draining it wasn't going to help because I had been doing that. So anyway, right now at this point, I just have to hold over till I can get to a town that has, you know, I mean, right here, literally, they don't even have a grocery store. They have a grocery store gas station combo. So there is no doctor in this town. I'm like 90% sure of that. Oh my goodness, I see my mommy is on here. Okay, I can't skip to your comment, Mom. I know you're my mom, but like, I have to go in order here. So I'm scrolling back up. Okay, but I love you, Mom. I'm glad that you stopped in. Okay, let's see. I sent them a text message. We have a group chat called Family Feud. That's the name of our group chat. And so I was like, nah, I always let them know when I'm doing a Family Feud Q&A, so I don't like, I don't know, I don't get phone calls and whatnot while I'm doing it, or them blowing up the Family Feud text. So anyway, I messaged them and I was like, if you care to join, you can. Here's the link. But anyway, so it's just, she actually stopped in. Okay, so let's see. Let me scroll back up. But yeah, James, it's pretty frustrating. I don't understand why they didn't just do it. I asked them, I'm like, don't we need to just like, isn't this going to keep being an issue? And they were like, nah, we drained it. It should be good. So whatever. Steve said, came into fuel discussion, make DIY alcohol stove. Yeah, you know, I could do that. I could get a can of tuna. You know, that's a good point. I could do that. I could get a can of tuna and a hole punch. And they probably have those things there. And I know they have some heat. So I could do that. I don't know. I might do that. Thank you for putting that idea in my mind. Okay, so here's the gross RT comment from Jim. He's one of them Bammer supporters. He says the RT. I can't even say. I can't say it. But if anyone wants to see what Jim said, that starts with an R and then the next word starts with a T, then you can go look. I can't do it. So Emily says, how easy is it to catch trout in the backcountry? Were you fly fishing or regular fishing? I would like some tips to catch them because I couldn't catch any last time I tried in Yosemite. Oh, cool. Okay. So what Kyle uses and what I used on the PCT is a Tenkara rod. So it's not like a proper fly rod, you know, it doesn't have a reel or anything. You just attach the fly and then it's got some line and then some other line and then like the pole. Now they are kind of expensive, but they're very lightweight. I had somebody in the winds tell me you could do the same thing with a Willa switch, you know, and maybe you could. I haven't tried that. I know the Willa switches are not telescoping though and don't break down like this does and just aren't maybe as convenient, but they are a lot cheaper. But basically, you know, there are different size flies that we used. I used a bee fly. It was like a bumblebee basically, or a honeybee fly. You know, it just depends on really like what's out at the time, you know, I guess like what bugs they would be wanting. I'm no like pro fisherman or anything like that, but in the Wind River range, we didn't have any issue. Now, with the Tenkara, I have not fished in a stream or a creek. I've only been fishing in like lakes, so I don't know if you were fishing in the stream or what. But yeah, so actually I could get you in touch with Kyle, and he's the pro fisherman. So if you want me to do that, if you have any questions or whatever, I can get you in touch with him. He can tell you maybe even some other ideas. So if you wanna catch some, but they're good to catch, and he can also tell you like a quick way to clean them, and like when he's cooking it and then pulls the bones out, how he does that. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind writing something up. So if you would like to know that. All right, so let's see, because yeah, it's really nice to be able to supplement your diet with something fresh while you're out there, you know. It's just, I don't know, it's good. So okay, let's see. Tim K says, hey Dixie. Fred says, do you carry a pack cover for the rain? I don't, now that I have like a Dyneema pack or a Cuban fiber pack. When I had my Osprey, I did, but it always kind of seeped through. I mean, it helped some for sure, but my pack was always still wet. So I think it's very important to still do everything on the inside. And actually, when my brother Dakota came out here, he didn't carry a pack cover. We just made sure that, you know, on the inside things were redundant. So he had the compactor bag lining it on the inside, and so he put anything he didn't want getting wet down in there and then rolled it down, and then other stuff was like in Ziplocs and whatnot. Now, even in my Dyneema pack, I do that. But what I like about the Dyneema pack is it doesn't like absorb as much water as my Osprey did, so I feel like it's not just heavy with a bunch of water weight. Now, it is still wet on the outside, you know, but yeah, it's not as bad. So, but no, I don't have one on this trail, and I didn't on the PCT. Nadine says, hey Dixie from sunny Australia, I hope your toes aren't so bad today. Yeah, they one of them feels a little better and one of them feels a little worse, so go figure. Sophie says it's 2 a.m. here in the UK. Oh my goodness, you are a trooper. Well, thank you. I'm honored that you think that this is worth being up at 2 a.m. for, so thank you for being here. Taylor says, I live in the White Mountains and you've inspired me to start hiking the AT up in there. Yes! The Whites are so beautiful. And like stopping by those huts and stuff. If you don't want to stay in the hut, like at least you can go by there, and a lot of times during the day they'll have like some soup you can get and stuff like that. But the White Mountains are stunning. They're so beautiful. You know, people always talk about like, oh, the AT isn't as pretty as the PCT or the CDT. Like, no, but certain parts are pretty spectacular, and the White Mountains surely are. They're difficult. They'll whoop your butt, but they're beautiful. Anne says, Mark wanted me to ask you if you've had any problems with ticks or which trail had more of an issue with ticks. That's a good question. So on the AT, I saw 2 ticks. One was crawling, I think, on my pack, and one was like on my rain breeches, but neither one attached. On the PCT, I never saw any ticks. And on the CDT, I've seen one, and it's been on my pack. So I don't know if I'm just not sweet enough for them, or I smell that bad, or what, but I've not ever had a tick attached to me on a trail. And I'm not saying they won't, and I'm not saying people haven't gotten Lyme disease, and it's not, you know, something that you shouldn't be cautious about, but I don't treat anything. I don't put any bug spray on me. I don't, you know, treat my clothes. I don't treat my pack. I don't treat anything, and I haven't had any issues. So, but I might just have, you know, gotten lucky. So, it definitely will happen. You can treat, you know, your clothes and your gear with permethrin, and then, I mean, DEET you could spray on your shoes. That, you know, might help. But yeah. So I guess the AT and the AT I saw the most. The CDT I saw the second most, and the PCT I saw 0. So. Okay, let's see. How are your spirits at this stage of the trail? Well, I told Aaron earlier, he was like, are you excited to get to town? And I was like, kind of. I think it was last night, and I was like, kind of, but I'm just like sitting in town, you know, and we still did we did 23 yesterday, and we did 14, or maybe even 15 today, which isn't bad on a get to town day. But I want to leave, you know, early in the morning. I'm just like, gotta go. And like knowing that we can catch perk, and, you know, it's just Canada. And so I'm ready to, I'm just like more set on like, oh, I gotta make progress now than I was before. So, so there is some pressure there in my mind, but I found out that there's a Nobo hiker, northbound hiker, that's just ahead of me that I hiked with in, the Great Basin. His name is 5 Star. And so I was like, oh, good, you know, hiking with Kyle and Dakota didn't put me, you know, so many days behind that I can't catch other through hikers, you know. And I'm sure there are probably some behind us, but everybody thinks they're the caboose. It's funny, all the Sobos I talk to, a lot of them are like, oh, I feel like there's nobody behind me, and then, you know, I'll see somebody behind them. And I think the southbounders I've passed have said that all the northbounders say the same thing. So it's like everybody's getting worried, you know. It's just the name of the game at this point. So Tim says, so cool you saw the Grizz. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Okay, so yeah, I approached the creek and was like, hey-o, bear, and looked around, and then I see this like dark silhouette, and Aaron said it kind of looked like Bigfoot footage, you know, going through the trees, and I was like, ooh, and I grabbed my phone out, and I'd been wondering which I would grab first, my phone or my bear spray, but, you know, it was far enough away that I felt comfortable with grabbing my phone first and videoed, and then, you know, I got the bear spray out, and I told my mom, you know, I was like, yeah, I got to make sure I get that phone out, Mom, because if you're going to have a good, you know, retirement home, I got to get footage if it mauls me to death. So, and I told her that that Aaron would put up the footage. He would help her, and he was like, yeah, because I'll get a cut of it, right? So, I know it's a pretty terrible joke, and my mom doesn't love it when I say that, but, you know, I'm kind of joking, but like kind of at the same time, like if I'm going to die anyway, you know, might as well get it captured. So, but I am joking. I don't really think I'm gonna die or anything like that. And if the bear had been closer, I certainly would have pulled my bear spray before my phone. But, you know, anyway, just me joking, just being ugly and joking. So let's see. Sophie asked how the duplex is holding up. The duplex is holding up well. I was, you know, worried after a little gun shy after the PCT, but I had been cowboy camping on top of it, so I think I brought it on myself. Also, I wasn't keeping it in a stuff sack. I was just shoving it in my pack, so I think that abrasion just kind of, you know, did some damage and put some holes in it. So I figured I'd give it another shot and see if it was my fault, and it looks so far like it was my fault. And I mean, Z-Packs did say it could have been a bad batch of Dyneema, but they honored their replacement, or their warranty, which is it should last you a whole through hike, and if it doesn't, they'll replace it. So it didn't, they replaced it. So last night it even poured on us, and it didn't, you know, I didn't end up with a puddle in my tent. So it was a good test, and I'm actually glad that it did, because now I know that it's good still as of now. And this is 2,000 miles in, so we just passed 2,000. So okay, let's see. Hey, oh, there's Jerry. Jerry's from Opelika. He's from my hometown. He's like one of the, I think, the only patron from my town of Opelika. So hey, Jerry, tell everyone at Niffers I said hey, and I'm gonna come drink a beer with y'all when I get back, and we can try to get Red Man out here in Grizz Country. I'm gonna get both of y'all to come hike with me out here in Grizz Country. Montana, my sister's on. Snapchat queen up there. Yeah, you're the Snapchat queen. Yeah, Montana always sends me pictures of my dog children. My mama does too. So, and Montana's awful though. She's mean, because she'll send like pictures of Hank looking out the window, be like waiting on his mom to come back, and like longing for you basically, and makes me feel bad. But Philip says, hi Jessica, no video loading yet. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good. Hopefully hopefully it started back. Or started at all. Jerry said, I just hiked from my truck to the bar. Are you at Niffers, Jerry? Niffers is the restaurant that I worked at. Kind of still maybe do. I guess I still could clock in there, but that's the real test. That's hilarious. Nadine says, Dixie, after you complete the CDT, you'll have three bracelets on your arm. At what point after that do you think you'll stop adding them each time you complete a through hike? You'll end up lopsided. Hey, I got two arms. I could balance them out. But yeah, so she's talking about these, they're called Wanderer bracelets, and these are about worn slap out. You can kind of see. I know the, let's see if I can make it. No, it's not going to focus. Anyway, these have, it's just that sun is so bright. These have coordinates on them of the endpoints of my hike. So maybe over here. No. Okay. But so I have the AT, I have Mount Katahdin's coordinates, and then the PCT, I have the Northern Terminus. And so for the CDT, I have one that I'm carrying in my Ziploc that I have my journal in, and I, you know, whenever I earn it and get to the Northern Terminus, and I get to put it on. So it's kind of, let's see. Okay, kind of maybe. There, you can kind of see the one's kind of worn off, but yeah, so I have it in that journal bag, so every time I journal I look at it and I'm like, if you want this, you gotta hike tomorrow. And so I don't know, it's kind of cool. But yeah, I think I'll keep on basically until, I don't know, I mean, maybe just a Triple Crown. Maybe I'll just keep it a Triple Crown thing, but we'll see how I feel about it when I start the other ones. Sophie said, Philip, it wasn't working for me, but I lowered the video quality and it came up. Ah, interesting. Good call. Now I can at least suggest that to people. Thank you for commenting that. Okay, here's my mom, Rhonda Mills. Hi from Mama. Can't wait to make you a good Sunday dinner. Yeah. Yeah, somebody said that earlier on Facebook that I was getting. Now they are just revving it up. There's some motorcyclists heading out, but anyhow, so yeah, somebody said I was looking skinny, but I ate a bunch of Mexican food today, so maybe that'll help. But yes, I am excited to be there on a Sunday, because nobody cooks like my mama does, except my nanny used to. but that's where you get it from, I reckon. So I'm excited to get home. Yeah, we do Sunday dinner. I don't know if any of y'all do that. Like, we don't all go to church or anything as a family, but we, I don't know, we still have that tradition of like Sunday dinner in the South kind of thing, and you know, all of us and the significant others, and oh y'all, it's just, it's a mess. Like, you can't get a word in edgewise there. Aaron's been to a Sunday dinner, haven't you?
I've been to a couple.
Yeah, he said he's been to a couple, and it's a cluster, ain't it?
I didn't say much.
He said he didn't say much because did you get the quarters? He's going to swap our clothes from the wash to the dryer. But yeah, he didn't get to say much because all of us won't shut up. So surprise, surprise. Okay, Svarky says hedge your bets and I'll ship you a can or two to your next town. Ooh, yeah. Well, I'll let you do that. So if you send me a message, which I think Lima has some, but I think that's what Perk said. But anyhow, that'd be awesome. Yeah, they're funny about mailing them, but if it's on ground, then they will. But Lloyd says, lost any more gear lately? Well, I haven't, knock on wood, but Aaron just lost his hat. So I'm telling you, ever since you mentioned that, you've plagued us. Alan says, Sophie, thanks for letting us know to change the video quality. Yay, there we go, awesome. Fred says, I have a BRS stove too, do you recommend it? Maybe it wouldn't be the best as like a first time stove, like somebody's first backpacking stove. I think the MSR Pocket Rocket is like pretty great. But yeah, after somebody's used that, and if they want to lighten up, you know, why not go with the BRS? But what do you think about it, Fred? What's your opinion on it? Sally says, hi, and bye. Family meeting at 6. Oh, cool. Thanks for turning me on to the lock laces. We'll watch later. Looking good, Miss Dixie. Thank you, Sally. When you watch this later. So my lock laces, I love them, and I replace them every time I do my shoes, so every 500 miles or so. Well, when I was in Lander and I got in a new pair of shoes, I let my brother Dakota use the new lock laces, and I just reused my old ones, and they just snapped while I was in Yellowstone. But I've managed to tie it, so it's fine, and I'll just hold on to them until I get a new pair of shoes. And I have bear cord, so my bear bag cord, so I can fashion a shoelace if I need to. But I do recommend those lock laces. I cannot tell you how great it is to not have to tie my shoes all the time. So that was something I learned from Kyle. Dan says, did you run into Sobo's Pineapple and Wild Card? Met them at Old Faithful about 10 days ago. Perk was in the area too, but we missed him. Sorry we missed you too. Oh, I hate that I missed y'all also. I don't recall meeting Pineapple and Wild Card. So there's a chance that, somebody was going to the bathroom on the side of the trail, or somebody woke up earlier than the other, all those things happen. So, Tony says, just wondering what you think about a multi-fuel stove like the MSR Dragonfly, worth extra weight to easily find fuel. Congrats on Idaho. Huh. I don't reckon so. Honestly, I didn't even know that was a thing. So it takes, you're saying, alcohol and canisters. I don't think so, just because you could always build a fire as long as there's not a restriction, and you can always get food that you just don't cook. So for me, I wouldn't, because I just went from the reliable MSR Pocket Rocket to the temperamental BRS. And when I say temperamental, I don't mean that it doesn't work, because it always works, but it's just like I said, sometimes when I go to turn the flow off, maybe it looks like I'm doing the opposite. I know righty tighty lefty loosey, but it's always a mirror image. But anyway, when I go to turn it off, sometimes it'll flare up real quick before it goes off. It's just stuff like that. And it's not as stable because the arms don't stick out as much. So I've dumped more water over with that than with the Pocket Rocket. But no, I don't think I would, so that I'm sure I have fuel, I would just go with one or the other, and if I couldn't find any, I'd get no cooked food. But thank you for the congrats on Idaho. I'm pretty excited to be in the next state. You're not missing much in Indiana. Trust me, I live here. Visit Indy or Southern if you do. Farmland up north. Okay, well, thanks for the heads up. But yeah, I gotta go to all of them. That's just why I have to do it. So Nadine says, I hope to do a section of the TA in February 2020. Hope to see you on trail for 5 minutes and I'll be eating your dust. I don't know, because if I've been sitting on the couch and then I go out there, we'll, probably be the same pace. Not saying that all you do is sit on the couch. I'm just saying, you know, going from not having trail legs to the trail, I don't just fly. I'm not one of those people that runs 20s out of the gate. Like, there are people who do that, and they absolutely amaze me. My first day in New Mexico, I did 8.5 miles, and then the next day I did 9.5. So, you know, some people can do a lot of miles, and on the PCT, my first day I did 15, but I took 2 zeros in Mount Laguna because of that. So, oh, I don't know if any of y'all remember that I met a guy named Hot Legs while I was in Mount Laguna, and he did a pack shakedown for me. He is on the CDT this year getting his Triple Crown also, and I just passed him south of Yellowstone when I came out of Du Bois. Before I got into Yellowstone, we passed each other one morning and we got to talk. So I was really excited to get to run into him. That was really cool. So, okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm scrolling back. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Dawn says, what beauty tips do you have for roughing it on CDT? Baby powder. I put baby powder in my hair. I just washed it, so it's doing some wonky stuff. But I put baby powder in my hair to get the, you know, oil out of it. It's also good for, you know, like chafe, butt crack chafe, or like for girls, you know, in your sports bra and stuff, just to feel a little fresher, dry things up a little bit. They say not to put talc on the woman parts down there, so, you know, I try not to do that, but when you're desperate, you'll do what you gotta do. And then, let's see, I carry like one of those folding comb and mirror combos. I carry lotion, just because, like, when I get scaly, I don't like it. It itches and stuff, and so I carry lotion. And I don't know. Other than that, like, I guess I don't really worry too much about what I look like, because, like, everybody's grody and everybody smells bad. If you put hand sanitizer in your armpits, it kind of helps the scent a little bit. Baby wipes. I would like to bathe off with baby wipes. So if you have anything more specific, let me know, and I will let you know what I think about it. Okay, Shelly says, when do you think you will get to the glacier section of the trail? I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm hoping to be done by the end of September, but, you know, I mean, we'll just see. I don't know what's coming up with fires and stuff like that. I know there are some closures. My mom messaged me on the InReach the other day and was like, such and such is closed, here are the alternates and all that. So I've got to look at some of that while I'm here, actually. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't even know exactly how long the glacier section is. So I don't tend to look too far ahead. It's kind of like one thing at a time, you know, what's next, what's next, what's next. I'm certainly usually not looking more than like whatever the next stretch is. Maybe I look at the one after it, but that's for sure as far, because things change so much, you just don't ever know. And just got to put your nose down and kind of grind out what's right in front of you. So I know that didn't answer your question very well, but so it just depends on how long it is. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Gary says Indiana residents are Hoosiers. Huh. Okay. And here I was saying Indianers. Taylor said, what would you say your favorite state is? Oh, man. I mean, Wyoming was the most diverse, for sure. Went through desert, went through, like, epic mountains, like the Wind River Range, went through, you know, more forested areas, just kind of had it all, you know. But Colorado, overall beauty of like, ooh, mountains, climb a peak, look out, see a great view, go down, Colorado. So, and Colorado's near and dear to me anyway, so I don't know. Not New Mexico, probably. I mean, New Mexico had some pretty parts, like the Gila River area, and the Young Guns looking areas and stuff like that. But I don't know. I would say, I'm honestly almost leaning towards Wyoming. But I don't know. It's going to be Wyoming or Colorado. But we'll have to see. I haven't seen much of Idaho or Montana. Oh, I haven't seen any of Montana yet on this trail. Let's see. Hey, Dixie, been with you since the AT year. The best, let's see, the best. Wondering how you deal with an all-day rain on the trail. Oh my goodness, that is a good question. So first you take a deep breath, and then you take, some kind of, I don't know, something to calm your anger. No, I'm just kidding. You take a shot of whiskey, no. Honestly, you know, it is trying. Luckily on the AT, I can say that was probably, well, I did have some all-day rains in Washington. Normally at some point it lets up a little bit. And at that point, that's when you take your opportunity. If there's not going to be like a shelter structure to get in, that's when you take the opportunity to take a break. So I remember there was one morning, it was raining when Perk and I got out of our tents, and at like 10 a.m. it stopped raining. We weren't, I mean, it turned to a slight sprinkle. So we huddled up under some trees and cooked lunch real quick, because guess what? Don't know if it's going to clear up. Don't know if it's going to keep pouring down. But all I know is that right now I have an opportunity. I'm going to take it. And, you know, at some points, like if you're not in a rush to like get to Canada before the snow comes in, then just set up your tent, you know, and hang out for a while and see if it gets any better. You know, last night it started raining at about 6 o'clock, and I was not ready to stop yet. I wanted to pull a 30 yesterday. I ended up with 23 because it just started pouring rain. And I was like, either way I'm getting to town tomorrow, either way I'm getting there at a decent time. No sense in hiking miserably in the cold rain tonight, you know, up until dark, which is when I wanted to hike till. So, you know what? I'm going to call it what it is and set up my tent. And I did. And it rained. It ended up clearing up and the sun was shining. I was tempted to go ahead and start hiking again, but I was like, you know what, Aaron, it's not worth it. Like, we're gonna get to town anyway. It's easy terrain, you know, let's just, we have an early night. It allows me to, you know, journal some, and it allowed him to maybe work on a video some if he wanted to, you know. So we just decided to stay there. So sometimes you just call it what it is and hole up in your tent and enjoy the sound of the rain hitting the tent. But if you're wanting to push, you know, I think having some decent rain gear, if it's cold, I think having some base layers to hike in is good. And you know, just I try to get some music going in my headphones that's like one of the songs that I would play when it was raining, The Tide is High by Blondie. So you get that like Caribbean kind of, you know, and I'm like, hey, in my mind I'm at the beach, in my mind it's not raining, and I'm just gonna suck it up, you know. And then I also tried to, when the rain chills out, to capture, you know, what are some beautiful things about when it rains? Like, oh, things look greener, or the raindrops on the leaves, you know, I can capture that with my macro lens. So I just try to focus on, like, what I don't hate about the rain. And that's pretty much it. So I don't know if that helped at all. If it's raining, when I get out of my tent in the morning, I try to attach my tent to the outside of my pack. So that way when I stop, if it's still raining, I can put the tent up and throw my pack in and then unload everything. So I don't know if that's helpful or answers your question in the way that you meant for it to be. But anyway, that's kind of how I deal with it. So okay, let's see. Surprised you couldn't find fuel in Yellowstone. Fishing Bridge has always had it when I go there. Well, you know, I potentially did not, I don't think maybe I went there, but I think it was far enough away that like I would have had to hitch there. And because I didn't have luck with it, the few places that I did check, and I kind of asked people, they were like, I don't know what that is. Like I said, fuel can, and they were like, oh, like a gas can, and I'm like, no. Like for a stove, you know, and then they show me like the big old Coleman things if they had those. I think one store had some of those, but anyway, so they very well could have it. I just didn't check like everywhere, you know. After a while I just had to give up and call it what it was and just say I'm not gonna have any cooked food, you know. So yeah, if y'all go to Yellowstone, then potentially Fishing Bridge sounds like it has it. And you know what, I will put that in the notes and gut hooks, so future hikers coming through, if they're desperate to get there, then they can. So I appreciate that information. I'll add that. Sparky says, hi, Mom. Sophie says, would you ever switch to a tarp bivvy setup? I don't think so. I kind of like having my space to like spread everything out, but I mean, you know, it depends. Like if there was an area, especially, you know, if I thought that that it wouldn't rain a lot, which really on the PCT and the CDT in long stretches it hasn't. But I don't know, the tarp thing without like a bug bivvy would, the bugs, I would be concerned about them, but maybe. I shouldn't say no, maybe, but I haven't thought about it yet. So let's see. Hiya, do bugs or other little critters crawl on you when you're cowboy camping at night? I have had like mosquitoes. This is a bug, you know, buzz in my ear. I think I've had a couple ants. Aaron said he had a mouse crawl across him the other night, but and I had one that happened actually in an AT shelter to me. But other than that, not really. I mean, it does happen some, but the majority of the nights that I've cowboy camped, I have not had something on me necessarily. So. But yeah, they can. It would be terrible to have, like, I've talked about, like, what would you do if, I asked Patches that when we were hiking together. I was like, what would you do if you woke up and there's a rattlesnake, like, crawling into your tent, or into your sleeping bag? And it's like, do you just sit there and let it, like, do its thing and hopefully crawl out, or do you slowly get out? I mean, like, I would crap my pants. That's what I would do. Or do you get out as fast as you can, hope it doesn't bite you? I mean, like, I don't know. And it's like, you got in here with me. Like, I didn't invite you here. Why are you biting me now? But, Steffi says, hey, Dixie's mom. Let's see. Hoosier daddy. Indiana folks. Okay, on an average decent day, how much time do you spend hiking, and how many, and what, thanks, Aaron. And what total time do you spend resting throughout the day? How long before you need your first break generally? Okay, so on an average decent day, so let's say there are some significant climbs and stuff. Normally when I get out of my tent and I start hiking, I try not to stop until lunch. So, you know, now if I get out super early, so if I get out at like 6:30, maybe I'll stop for one break. Like, a lot of times I'll have a morning break, lunch, and then an afternoon break. And I'll say, like, lunch I try to keep at, you know, normally it's at least 30 minutes, let's be real. But I try to keep it below an hour. It certainly has been more than an hour before, but that's what I try to, like, you know, hour max, 30 minutes to an hour-ish. The other breaks, I try to keep them at like 15 to 30 minutes. So if I'm hiking from 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., that's 13 and a half hours. So, and so 2 hours off of that, you know, max. So yeah, like 11 hours of hiking. Now, there are times, of course, where you have to go to the bathroom, or, you know, I stop to change clothes because I, you know, started in a jacket and now I'm warm, or, you know, so you have those little things too. So if you count all the pee breaks and stopping for stuff like that, you could knock another hour off of it. So I guess I'm looking at like 10 and a half to 11 hours, something like that. I've never calculated that before, so thank you. Thank you for asking. Okay, let's see. Oh, I see my dad left a comment. Okay, let's see. Alright, I'm sure this has been discussed before, but haven't been in a Q&A in months. How far apart are resupply points, and how are places with bouncing packages forward? Yeah, well, with the bouncing ahead, I talked about a little bit earlier. The only place that I've ever had an issue on all 3 trails is Mount Shasta. Some places might be like, I don't know if we can do that. And I'm like, yes, you can. And then, like, you know, explain to them. And then they normally will be like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess we can do that, you know. But Mount Shasta is only bungholes about that. But resupply points on this have been anywhere from, I would say, like 70 to 100 miles apart so far. That's generally, there are some that have been closer, you know, and some that maybe have been a little bit farther apart, but that's pretty much the range there. Carl says, hey, Dixie, the Great Divide mountain bike route runs quite close to your routes at times. Most cyclists are Sobo. Do you know of any conflicts? Are my fellow cyclists behaving themselves? Yeah. Actually, I've run into some of them, and I ran into some the other day. I was doing like a create your own alternate down to the highway, and then I ended up walking the highway a little bit. I went down to Lava Mountain Lodge, which is like 3 to 6 miles from the trail, and then ended up walking the highway up to where the trail crosses that most people hitch in from. But anyway, I ran into some cyclists on the dirt road there, and they told me that the only grizz they'd seen, and they're not carrying bear spray, was on the highway. And I was like, what? I thought when I got to the highway I'd be safe. But yeah, I've run into them here and there, but mostly like while I'm out. And yes, they are always nice, and it's always fun kind of chatting with them and seeing the differences of, you know, our journeys. So, but yeah, all the ones I've seen so far have been Sobo. So Fred says, Google Tinkara. All right, Nadine said, just want to say I'm so impressed and inspired by your tenacity and determination to push on despite the toe pain. Pushing boundaries, a great example for us. Well, thank you, Nadine. I appreciate that. I reckon it's probably just hard-headedness that, if you ask, my dad came from my mom. And yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, they are sore, but it's like, well, you know, something else is gonna be sore if that's not. So like, just gotta keep trucking on. Canada's not gonna, you know, not get snowed on because my toes hurt. So but thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Chris says, sup Dixie from North Georgia. My nanny was from North Georgia. She was from Dawsonville. So you're so much fun to watch. So far, scariest moment yet. Probably the mountain lion. Honestly, even seeing the grizz across the creek and me always thinking that, like, for sure if I see a grizz, it's gonna attack me and maul me. It's just like if I live or not. But yeah, the mountain lion moment. Staring at the mountain lion for a minute and a half. I think my heart was pounding the hardest at that moment. Oh, well, also the lightning. The lightning on top of the peak, the pass that my hair was standing up. That was pretty scary. But I would say the mountain lion moment. Are you ever afraid while sleeping? Animal noises, bears. You know, when I first started the AT, coyotes, I mean, I'd heard them, you know, at home. We'll hear them outside the house. But it was a little unnerving to me on the AT when I heard them. But now, like, they sound like, it's like a lullaby. Like, I literally smile every time I hear them now. I'm like, oh, I'm in nature, you know? And I have been a little nervous in bear country at times, especially in grizz country, but, you know, I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's and doing everything I can to prevent an issue. And I sleep with my new best friend, which is my bear spray. So, you know, I don't really worry about it too much. More so when I camp alone. I don't know why. I guess because I'm like, well, somebody would at least hear me scream. Not much they could do probably, but like at least they'll hear me. But yeah, not really, not anymore. Maybe to start with a little bit. I remember when I was camping alone a lot in New Jersey and New York on the AT, and seeing bears like close to dark and stuff. I was just like, golly, you know. But I think that was effects of being bluff charged with the first bear that I ever saw in person, which was my fault. So, but anyway, yeah, not too much. I don't really stress over it too much now. Camping alone in grizz country the first night was a little spooky, but nah. Wayne says hello from North Carolina, and Mindy says, yay, I finally made it to live chat. Hey Dixie. Well, hey Mindy. She says, how are you going to celebrate the completion of your Triple Crown? Yeah, it's a really good question. I don't know. I've thought about, like, we could spray our bear spray. I mean, if you mean like actually at the terminus, I was thinking we could spray out our bear spray, and then we'll walk into Canada and one will maul us, like on the 8-mile stretch into Canada. Maybe crack some champagne, although Perk and I tried at the PCT Northern Terminus and like it didn't pop and like spray, you know. It was kind of disappointing, but it was like, you know what, of course it wouldn't for the PCT, you know. We just kind of got crapped on all around, so of course the bottle caps wouldn't shoot out. That's okay. We still enjoyed it and we're happy to be done. So I don't know though. That's a really good question. I know when I get done though, and I'm heading back south, I'd like to stop into Denver and see some friends there. Maybe go to the bar that I used to go to for football games, because there's like a big Auburn following there, and everyone goes to the same bar and watches them play. So maybe go there, and then also see Riga and Boulder, since we didn't get to cross paths while I was coming through Colorado. But then I'm gonna get home and start writing some books and start getting back to work. But I'm gonna hug my family, and I'm gonna be really excited to see them and my dog children. And yeah, so I guess I don't have any set plans for celebration, but those are some of the things that come to mind. Let's see. Hey Dixie, what's your favorite trail in Alabama? War Eagle from Auburn. Woo! Okay, sweet. So so we have Opelika and Auburn. All right, let's see. Favorite trail. You know, my mom and I went and hiked. There was the what was that called? I want to say Cherokee Alpine Trail and Deadening Alpine Trail up in up near the lake, up near Lake Martin. And then there's also the Smith Fire Tower up there. So if you get the All Trails app on your phone, actually for all of you, if you get the All Trails app on your phone, it might help you find some trails near you that you didn't know were there. So that's how I found those, and those were really pretty. I've been on the Pinhoti just a little bit, and up in North Alabama, up in Gunnersville State Park, I did a couple trails there. But honestly, I'm ashamed to say I haven't hiked a whole lot in Alabama. So those are some of the ones that the Deadening Alpine Trail and the I think it's called Cherokee Alpine Trail was pretty cool, and you could see the lake and like Chimney Rock and stuff like that. So I'd probably go with one of those, and I can't remember which one of those was my favorite. But yeah, they're right there together. I think the longest one is like 4 miles, and I think it might even be a loop. So it's a nice little stroll. It's nice. So and those will be close to you in Auburn. But yeah, check out that All Trails app, and don't forget that the high point in Alabama is Cheaha Mountain up there in Talladega National Forest. So that's up near where the Pinhoti is. But anyway, that's so cool. Like somebody else from home. And War Eagle, back to you. Let's see. Do you know how to assess the motel mattress for bed bugs? Yuck. Cowboy it tonight. Yeah. I you know, I've Googled like how to do that to look for them and stuff, but hopefully there aren't any. I almost like at this point I just don't even want to find them. I just don't even want to. Dad says, "Hi baby girl, we miss you." I miss y'all too. It's so cool that y'all are on. I'll have to give y'all the link again sometime. See, you know, like when I say that the live Q&As are for patrons, like I don't even give the link to my family usually. So I think this might be like the second time that I've sent it to y'all. I don't remember, but yeah, I miss y'all and I love you. Wayne says, when do you estimate completing the trail? When does weather become an issue? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm hoping it'll be the end of September, but it might creep into October like it has before. Don't know, just depends on a lot of stuff between here and there. Weather can become an issue at the beginning of September. You know, it could start snowing then. But I think, you know, last year it was towards the end of September that it started snowing. And it really, you know, a little bit of snow I can handle, but when it just like dumps. The good thing about this trail is there's not one set path like, you know, on the PCT and the CDT, or on the PCT and the AT. And there are actually 2 termini. So there's Chief Mountain and then there's Waterton Park. I was wanting to go into Waterton Park. If I'm not mistaken, that's the higher of the 2 routes. But Chief Mountain is lower, so that helps. And I think that if I had to, I could find some series of dirt road, you know, alternates and whatnot to get to the monument that is still legal as far as the CDTC is concerned, as in it is within 50 miles of the divide, of the continental divide. So as long as you're within that corridor of 50 miles, you could literally walk whatever path you wanted to from Mexico to Canada and not even step foot on the CDT. I mean, unless it, you know, crossed it. And by their definition, it would be a CDT through hike. Now, of course, I try to be on the trail or, you know, their official alternates most of the time. But that is one cool thing about this trail. Is like, really, it is like a create your own adventure thing. And I've actually enjoyed that, because on the AT, it was so strict. Like, you know, I was strict on myself. Like if I walked into a shelter one way, I walked back out that way and went back on the trail. Like I was not going to miss an inch of trail. I was a purist. And, you know, on the PCT, it's like, in the Sierra Nevada, it was impossible to be a purist, you know, and they have more alternates to see beautiful things. So for example, Mount San Jacinto, that was an alternate. So I could have done the alternate and then come back and done the actual trail, and you know, I would never get to Canada like that. So I made up in my mind that I would do the alternates as long as they were more difficult or more beautiful, or both, you know. But I never did like a shortcut that was you know, a road walk, or, you know, I wouldn't have felt good about road walking to Canada and calling it a through hike on the PCT, because by their definition, that's not a through hike. But on the CDT, as long as you're within that 50 miles of the divide, you can take whatever path you want. So, so anyway, so I think I'll be fine, but, you know, I am kind of like, I want to go the official route. Okay, let's see. Okay, Dixie, hello from Florida. Going on my first section hike in September from Hot Springs to Irwin. Oh, cool. Thanks for the inspiration and encouragement. Love your videos. Dave, that is awesome. Dave Kern, you know, it's funny. I don't know where in Florida you are, but we had a good, he was a co-leader with my mom in Girl Scouts, one of my best friend's dads. His name was Don Kern, and he was down in West Palm, but he passed away I think a couple years ago now. But anyway, so it just made me think of that because he's in Florida and a Kern. But anyhow, well, that's really cool that you're going to be out on the AT. I don't know if you've gotten out on the Florida Trail at all, but that's like right in your backyard. I mean, you might be sick of Florida, you know, you're there all the time, so you want to see something different. But yeah, that'll be pretty. If you can and you get time, get to go visit those hot springs. It's like hot tubs where they pump in, you know, hot spring water, but still pretty cool. So congratulations on that. That's really awesome, and thank you for being here. So Emily says, what is your planned arrival dates for Canada now? Is it still the same? I mean, yes, but you know, I mean, I kept saying that September 20th, September 20, actually 23rd sounded magical for some reason. I don't know why, but so, you know, yeah, I would really like to be there then, but I just, you know, I just don't know if it'll happen. So, let's see. Hi, Dixie's mom. You raised a fine young woman. Oh, thank you, Nadine. I bet, like, she's like, yeah, right. You don't know her like I do. Let's see. Hi from Sonoma, California. I hope that your feet get better soon. Thank you. And I hope that y'all state quits burning down. That's insane. Somebody told me the other day some smoke we were seeing over there was from y'all in California. Philip said, what stakes do you use with the duplex? I use these really lightweight ones that I got off of Z-Packs. They're like little hooks. And they've been fine. You know, there have been a couple times where I had to like bang them in with a rock, but and so you got to be careful not to bend them, but you know, but they've worked fine. They're real light. Fred says, is it Montana who's designing our shirts? Okay, so about that, I have been talking to a lady that helps me with the website that I have, homemadewanderlust.com, and I think what I'm gonna do, and Montana is still gonna probably design some because she's got, you know, a couple ideas that she thought would be good ideas, and I did too. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a t-shirt contest, design contest, where people can submit it, and maybe like the top 3 shirts get a prize, the top 3 designs get a prize. And the way that I'll pick it, maybe I'll like, you know, cull it down to 10 and then get people to vote on it, and then print the top 3, you know, from those 10 designs to start with, or something like that. I just thought it would be good to kind of, you know, do more, wow, sorry. I thought it would be a good idea to do more like kind of a crowd, you know, sourcing, or, you know, get a whole bunch of ideas, you know, and then kind of see what people would be interested in, vote on it. So, and I might, you know, let y'all see those designs first or something like that. I'll let y'all have an in somehow on seeing some of that stuff before anyone else does. But anyway, so I thought that would be a good idea. I don't know what y'all think about that, but so I've been talking to the lady that helps me with my website to see how and if she can set that up. So I need to get back with her for like the rules of the contest, and you know, I think the only guidelines that I'll give people is that it either needs to relate to the outdoors, like backpacking, or, you know, to this channel, or, you know, things that have happened in the episodes and stuff like that. So, you know, which makes sense, right? I don't think they would get voted on if they weren't. So it couldn't just be like, you know, some picture of a car or, you know, I don't know. So I think that's only guidelines, and then I'll just do prizes for the top 3. Probably the top 3 people. So let's see. Oops, scrolled too far back. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, understand your hurry, but you're still getting amazing shots. The videos are great. Yay! Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, some like things just jump out at me and are like, you must capture me, and I do. And sometimes I'll pause and I'm like, I want to keep walking, and then I'm like, no, I gotta get it, and then I'll get it. But Mike said, did you stop by the post office today? I did, and thank you so much for the box. We did. We sat there and sorted it out, and I got your message about Aaron's almonds, and he's fine. He's easy to please. So he says he can eat some of that nanner pudding. And so he got some of those and some of the other things. But so thank you very much for that. And I got your message about the other one. So I'll message you back after we get off here. Let's see. Ed says, hey, from Las Vegas, any thoughts of your next adventure? Probably the TA in New Zealand. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But first, my mom and I are going to go do the fire closure areas on the PCT next summer, and probably summit Mount Elbert, which will be her first 14er on our way back. That's my thought anyway. So, and I think we're going to take little Fancy May, my little black pity, I don't know what mix, Heinz 57. Fred says, I have a pocket rocket too, but I wanted a lighter stove. So far it's okay. Not as stable, right? The pot supports are shorter, yes, and the flame isn't always consistent. What size fuel can do you carry? I carry the small one, so I can't remember how many ounces that is. I think 4 ounces, is that right? That's the one that I carry. Yes, but I have the same issues. Like the flame isn't consistent and the supports are shorter, so it's not as stable for sure. That's why I said maybe not for somebody's first stove, but like if somebody wanted a lighter stove, then it definitely works. When you're hiking with Aaron, do you have to remind him to talk once in a while to make sure you're not alone out there? Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. When I was little, I was very much one of those kids that was like, huh? Like I would, like, right? You know, like I would say something and I wanted some kind of like acknowledgement that the person was listening to me. And a lot of times when I talk to Aaron, I'll say things and he doesn't respond. And it's not like I ask a question and he's like, I don't want to answer you. It's like, you know, I'll just say like, wow, the flowers are pretty. And he's not like, yeah, they are. You know, he just says nothing. And to me, I'm like, why didn't he say anything? You know, but I've learned like, that's just Aaron. And he's like, sometimes I just can't. Like, I just can't. And I get it. You know, everyone's different. So he's allowed to not feel like saying, yeah, they are, you know, and acknowledging every time I speak, because he probably would really run out of steam. So yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I have to be like, can I check your pulse? Are you still alive? Emily says, your hair is so shiny. I think not washing it a lot, proven to be true by your hair. Yeah, like that it makes it healthier. I don't know, maybe. Thank you for saying that. I tell you though, it does get knotted up and like I rake through it. And so I feel like I'm going to have to get, you know, a few inches snipped off whenever I get done, just because of split ends and stuff. But thank you. I appreciate that. I do think it does help not dry it out, though, to not wash it, but like once a week. Just to confuse the Indiana folks, I'm in Indiana, PA. That's hilarious. John says, hi, Dixie. I'm over 70 and completed first bucket list of visiting all 50 states. Yes, that's awesome. And second of visiting all 95 Texas state parks. Oh my goodness. But maybe I need a third of doing a THRU-HIKE. You're such an inspiration. Yes. Yes, you should. You should do that. You should do it. I'm always going to encourage people. You should get out on the AT next year. Just saying, that would be a third great bucket item list. But good for you for sticking to that, man. All 50 states and all 95 state parks. That took some diligent effort there. Let's see. Bradley says, Dixie, is the plan to catch up with Perk and then hike the rest of the way together? Yeah, you know, more or less. Like, sometimes somebody leaves town earlier, might get a half a day ahead or day ahead. But yeah, more or less, if I were to catch him, that would be the goal. Found your channel about a month ago and enjoying your adventures. God bless. Well, thank you very much. But yeah, hopefully that'll work out that way. Let's see. What cameras are you shooting with? So I have my iPhone X. Aaron, is yours an 8? Aaron has the iPhone 8. And then he has a Sony A7S. And I have the Sony RX100. RX100. Yeah, so those are the cameras that we use for everything. And then there's the drone. So right now I'm on my iPhone in selfie mode. So in all your time looking at the sky, have you thought you may have seen a UFO? No, not since I was little. There was one time when I was little where I swore it was, but no, I haven't really. And that's kind of funny, isn't it? You'd think so. What are the shoes that you're wearing now and how are they working out? So I am wearing the Ultra Temps. This is my second pair of those. And the ones that I have right now, my toe tore through. So I don't know if it got snagged on something or what. You know, the first pair lasted fine. They lasted until I thought they should, you know, close to 500 miles or so. The second pair has not lasted. It's been since Lander. So I don't know. You know, I don't know if this is a fluke thing, but I'm going to contact Ultra. I'm glad you said that. I need to email Ultra. Let me mark that down on my to-do list right here. Because, yeah, if they don't last, you know, at least 300 miles, preferably, like, if they don't last 500, really, then, you know, I feel like they should. So I'm going to email them. But I think next I'm going to try, not that I wouldn't get those again, because I would. Like I said, the first pair were fine. If I got a second pair, if I had a second pair do that, then I would have an issue with them. But I think I'm going to try the Lone Peak 4.0s. The only thing, though, the 3.5s really had a smaller toe box. Well, not smaller toe box, but they ran small. And with these ingrown toenails, I don't want that issue right now. So I really need to see if the 4.0s are running small also or not. And if they are running small, then I'll just get the Temps again. But if they aren't running small, then I'll try the Lone Peak 4.0s. So, what section of the PCT or CDT do you think would make a good section hike? Let's see. On the PCT, I would say, you know, depending on how long you have, if you can do the Sierra Nevada, it's amazing. It's gorgeous. Or the Cascades up in Washington area. So, you know, I mean, I could tell you, like, for example, Snoqualmie Pass to Stevens Pass in Washington would be beautiful. For the CDT, I think in New Mexico, you could do the Gila River area. That's beautiful. Honestly, anywhere in Colorado, I feel like that you get on and get off is going to be gorgeous. Also in New Mexico, if you want to see like pretty desert, from Grant to Cuba was really pretty. And you even getting up in some alpine area with that. And then in Wyoming, I would say the Wind River Range, somewhere in the Wind River Range. So I know those are kind of vague ideas, but if you hone in on one of those areas, you know, and you want more of an idea, then just let me know. Let's see. Have you run into any ham radio operators on mountaintops? I am one and have thought about / considered the extra weight to do it. You know, that's really cool. So I've been wanting to get into ham radio. Like, I actually was part of a group in Colorado that was like, it was kind of like a prepper group. And it's funny because it was like mostly me and a bunch of men in their 40s to 70s, you know. But like that's my crew, you know. I enjoyed hanging out with them, and we did like a shooting class together, all sorts of stuff. It was like a meetup group. But anyway, so they talked about ham. So I got a little ham radio off of Amazon. So I actually am familiar with what it is and everything. I've never, you know, done the test to get like my operating license or whatever, but that's something that I certainly want to learn more about, and I'll probably kick myself in the butt for not doing some of that, you know, during my through hikes, but or these 3 anyway. So I have not seen anyone that I know that's what they're doing, so or that anyone that's told me that's what they're doing, but yeah, that's a pretty cool idea that I haven't even thought about. So let's see. Let's see. Summits on the air. It's a ham thing. Lloyd, I didn't know you were into ham radio too. Maybe you did mention that before, but okay. Ashton says, I have the same question as Fred. I'm an amateur ham radio operator too. I want to take it with me on the AT. Have you ever met him? Y'all, we have like a whole ham radio thing going on here. This is so cool. But no, I haven't. So another ham here, man. K7ZFI says 73. See, look, y'all are so cool. Y'all are just, and I probably was supposed to say like, whatever the letters are, for, you know what I'm trying to say, the phonetic thing to say that letter, like Charlie, you know, yada yada. Okay, I don't know, but okay, anyway, lots of chances for SOTA. Look at this, KD8Q, 73 to you, I am 19, I've been a ham since I was 12. That is awesome, Ashton, that is so cool. Man, y'all are, see, we just need to like start a little thread in Patreon about ham radio, and then when I go to test, I need to learn from y'all. Nice, I'm 66 and been a ham for about 14 years now. Awesome. I've activated summits in Big Bend, Texas, camping, field antennas, and solar power. Sorry for the hijack, Jessica. No, do not apologize. This is awesome. Like, I'm happy for y'all to do this. So, very cool. Sophie says, how do you deal with being so far away from your dogs? That's the one thing I'm worried about when I do the AT. Oh, it's so hard. It is so hard. Like, I miss them so much. But just know that, like, you know, they're being taken care of if you got somebody to take care of them, and I know my family does. They treat them like their own, so, and they pretty much kind of are, so. Emily says, I was terrified of any noise during my first night in the wilderness. It's so weird being from car camper to backpacker and have the whole place for yourself. However, I love it now. Yeah, it is. It is a gradual thing, or it was for me anyway. You know, at first I'm like, oh my God, I'm out here alone and all these critters, and you know, it is, and especially cowboy camping alone is interesting. But that still I haven't completely gotten over 100% yet. So I mean, I've done it, you know, but I still kind of think about stuff. I don't know, that false sense of security that my tent gives me is wonderful. So you trouble me that you aren't wearing a full brim hat. Yeah, Doug, I would like to. I just haven't found one that I like. There was one on Walmart, or one at Walmart that I really liked, and I've been holding out hoping to find it, so I just need to order it online probably. It was a Swiss gear hat, but haven't found it. Let's see, Jim says, hi Dixie from the Commonwealth of PA. Well, hello back to you, Jim, and I'm glad that you could join for a bit also. So welcome. Let's see. Phil says, when will you have the branded knives available? Would like to have one for my PCT hike in spring 2019. So I imagine Patrick and I would do that again in the fall/winter. We did them like in November, I think. That way folks could have them for December for Christmas. So that it would be the same thing. And I think he's interested, and I certainly am. So Doug says, I saw a pendant that read, I hike like a girl, so try to keep up. Maybe think of your t-shirt idea. Yeah, a lot of girls would probably like that. Jim says, Dixie, I popped a blister similar to your, let's see, I popped a blister similar to your tie issues from one of your videos. I put tea tree essential oil and lavender and Dr. Bronner's tea tree soap. Okay, helps heal my toes. Yeah, I just got some tea tree, so hopefully it'll help. Leslie says, I haven't heard anything recently about Perk. Where is he right now? Right now, he is in Lima, well, Butte, Montana, but I think he's going to wait in Lima for me to catch up, which is my next stop. So, like, 4 days or so, 3.5, 4 days. But yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well. Jim said, Dixie, run putting sunscreen on your face. Looks like a little sunburn on your nose, but yeah, I normally have been putting something on. Today I got lazy and I did not, so there you go. That's what I get. My nose is gonna burn off. Less than a month for section hikes, Smokies, AT, and Mount LeConte. Very excited. Do you need to reserve shelters online? A little worried about getting to shelters. I don't know. I assume that you could probably do that online. But I would call Smoky Mountain National Park and let them know what your plan is and talk to them. Like, that's what I did when I got into Yellowstone, or before I got to Yellowstone. I called them and chatted with somebody, and, you know, they're knowledgeable. Like, they do that all the time. So that's what I would do. I would recommend getting any of the Ultras a half size larger. They generally seem a bit small lengthwise. Yeah, the temps are not, like, they're good. And then, like, the Lone Peak 2.5s are good. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the 3.0s, I would say, might have run a little small. But those 3.5s, like, they really did. So, yeah, I would recommend, like, if you can try them on, or if you order them from Amazon, then, you know, at least you can send them back. Or order them from REI, they'll take them back. So, but, yeah, I'd try them on. Let's see. Miles in between shelters making miles. Yeah, I got you, Jim. Just worried about, like, actually getting to them. So I'd talk to them. I'd let them know about that. And maybe, you know, estimate lower than you think, or, you know. But yeah, I would go ahead and call and talk to them about that and reserve ahead of time. So especially if you're a month out now, I would go ahead and reserve. Ashton says, Dixie, you need to get licensed. The test is so easy. I can send you a lot of information about it if you would like. Yes, please do. You know, I won't be able, certainly, to do it until I get done with this, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for like 4 years now, so I really need to do it. Dixie says, oh my God, you should do ham radio. The technician test isn't hard at all. See, everyone says I do need to. I need to do it. Y'all have got me excited about it again. I'm gonna have to, I've got like a running list in my phone of things I want to do when I get off trail, like win home, you know, list. And so I'm gonna have to add that to that, because I have the radio, like I've got it. And I think somebody even programmed it for me. They hooked it up to their computer and programmed it or something, the channels. But yeah, I need to do it. I need to just break down and do it. Let's see. Had Lone Peak 3.5. Now, then 4.0. Now they have run bigger than 3.5s. The toe box on the 4.0 seems significantly bigger. Thank you, Philip. Thank you for that information. Good. So I can just go ahead and order my size, normal size, and they should be good. Thank you. I've been wanting to know that from somebody. So, here's somebody else talking ham radio. I am ham also. Man, see, everyone is so, this is awesome. November 3 Kilo Mike Alpha. Okay. Or November 3 Kiss My Ankle. Ashton says, I really do think you should set up an amateur radio thread. It is so necessary and vital tool for emergency communication. No, absolutely. Like, I know a lot of folks look at it like, oh, it's so nerdy or whatever. Well, for any of y'all who are talking about ham radio, if you listen to podcasts, you would probably enjoy the Survival Podcast. And not that he talks about ham a lot. He doesn't. But there are people on there who do call in and ask questions about ham. And he's got like a ham guy on, last I knew, on his council of, like, what does he call them? Expert council members. So anyway, yeah, y'all would probably enjoy that show in general if you're of the mindset of, like, emergency communications and stuff. And his phrase is like helping you live a better life if times get tough, or even if they don't, because it's not like, you know, doomsday prepper stuff. It's like practical stuff that, like, you know, helps you live better, and is a lot of the inspiration for why I quit my job and started doing this. So but anyway, let's see, the Dixie net. That's awesome. Thomas says, hello from Colorado. Hello to you. Ashton says, I attended Morehead State University for geology. I started an amateur radio club here on campus and has licensed around 40 hams. That's awesome. I have my general license and VE accreditation. If any other hams have any ideas of cool things to do with my club, we have an HF with off-center fed dipole. Let me know. I can give you all my email. Okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and mark that down to start a ham thread on Patreon. So, all right, sweet. That's awesome. This is so neat. Like, look at all this that y'all have in common. All right, for hats, have you checked Tilly? They are not cheap, but I really like the new one I have. It has a hyper cool pad in the top you can wet, and it's supposed to keep you cooler when it's hot out. You know, I've tried on a couple of Tillys, but yeah, look at the price and like, I mean, not to be like vain, but like, you should like how a hat looks on you, right? You know, and so I think Tillys look great on a lot of people, but I don't know if I found one. I found one in Yellowstone that I was like, but of course, you know, Yellowstone had Tilly price times, you know, 2 almost, or I guess I shouldn't say that, times 1.5, you know. So anyway, you know, I haven't gotten one yet, but I have looked at them, and I might have to look at them again when I find an outfitter. Here in this town, ain't nothing. I'm wearing both the Keens and Solomon shoes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't ever had Keens. I've had Solomons, and I liked my Solomons. So, have you seen or heard any wolves yet? I haven't. So I'm hoping that Idaho or Montana will give that to me, because New Mexico was a mountain lion. Colorado was a moose. I mean, I'd seen moose, but it got pretty close. It was the closest I think I've been to one. And then Wyoming was the Grizz. So now I'm like, okay, what's Idaho and Montana gonna provide? So Leslie says, my husband is a ham guy too. Awesome. Nadine says, I don't know if my connection is slow. I may have missed my question about the duplex, about 20 comments up. Oh yeah, I did talk about it. So I have not had any holes yet. I have not had issues like I did on the PCT. I think that was due to me cowboy camping, and I'm more and more sure of that as I'm not having that same issue. I mean, it could have been a bad batch of Dyneema, but I think it was probably the abrasion of me cowboy camping on top of it, and also not storing it in a stuff sack, but you know, just cramming it down in my pack loosely. So, but yeah, I love it. It rained last night on me and did not leak through at all. So, so hopefully you got that this time. If you didn't, let me know. Of course, you probably won't hear me saying this. So, but hopefully you got it that time. And if you ask again, I'll message you, because I want to make sure that you don't think that I'm ignoring you, Nadine. Let's see. You'll make a great ham radio operator, Dixie. You seem to carry through with your goals. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's amazing how many hams we have here right now, and there's only 88 people watching. Yeah, no kidding. That's crazy. Sally says, smile emoji. Are you back from you must be back from your family meeting. Ashton said, I know it's crazy. I'm thankful to be a ham, such an incredible family. Google FSQ call ham radio that texts between computers at low power and no internet at all. Messages wait on you automatically without catching it live. Interesting. Let's see. Sorry, my question was about the duplex size with Kyle. Oh, Nadine. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I must have missed it. Let's see. I'm so sorry. I did not purposely skip over that. Let me scroll. And anyone else, if I have missed your messages, do not think that I was just ignoring it. I promise I probably just somehow didn't see it. Because when I'm scrolling, somehow that can happen. Nadine, I don't see it. Oh, here we go. Nope, I see Hi Dixie's mom is the last one that I see from you. So if it was above that, I don't see it. And just want to say I'm impressed, inspired by, yeah, I don't see it. So I wonder if it just didn't come through, or maybe I've missed it again somehow, but I'm assuming that you're asking if, like, how the duplex was with both me and Kyle in it. Let's see. Did you lock yourself? Oh, I thought you... Did you? You know you didn't. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. So, yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, I assume that you were asking, yeah, about the size of the duplex with me and Kyle in it. So, if that's what it was, then, yeah, I mean, it was fine. We both slept with our packs at our feet. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a much tighter squeeze, and I told him, I'm like, I have to learn how to reorganize my life while you're here. Like, you just mess it up, you know, not being ugly, but like, you know, it's like I'm used to spreading my stuff out. And then I noticed after he left, it felt really empty in that space, you know, but, so, yeah, I mean, he fits fine in it, you know, like I said, it is a tight squeeze. It's not like we have so much room, but, because of the double doors, you know, I was able to lean out. I always pick the right side because I'm right-handed, and so I lean out the right side to cook in the mornings and stuff like that. And so, you know, we're not normally just like hanging out a whole lot in there, you know, normally get to camp, get in there, and go to sleep. So, I mean, he does journal, and like I'll journal, so it was enough for us to both have our packs at our feet and be on our sleeping pads and have our stuff like between us and the door of the tent or crammed down by our feet. I mean, we made it work. So, and if we were going on a through hike together, I wouldn't want to add more weight for more room. So, you know, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that answers your question. I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, there's so much room in there, you know, but it's not like unbearable to where I would add more weight at this point. So, okay, let's see. Fred says, thank you, Dixie, for your time tonight. You are amazing and an inspiration. And John didn't see Nadine's question either, but I think we got it whooped now. And Ashton says, yes, thank you, Dixie, about starting the thread. And Jim says, Dixie, to you read questions from people who couldn't make it yet. Oh, did I read questions from people who couldn't make it yet? No, I have not yet, but I have a list. Actually, I don't have a bunch today. It's probably because this is kind of on short notice. So Nadine says, yes, that was my question. Sorry it didn't come through. No, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, and it may be up there, you know, and I just didn't see it. Let's see. Philip says, by the way, I am a size 12. Street shoes, got 13, Lone Peak 4.0, passed the thumb test you recommend, and toe bang test. Yay! They seem perfect. 3.5, not so much. Exactly. Yeah, that, I think a lot of people complained about that, so hopefully they straighten their act up with those 4.0s, because that was just not acceptable. Nadine said, cool, thank you for answering that. Planning to get one for me and my fellow. Oh, cool. Well, good. I hope that the duplex, I hope that you feel the same, that it's enough space. You know, it certainly wouldn't hurt to go up to the 3-person, you know, I mean, except for the weight, but there would definitely be a lot more. It would probably be a lot roomier. I would also ask Z-Packs and see what they think, you know. They can give you a little more insight, like, oh, well, if you are a person of these dimensions, you know, then blah, blah, blah. But anyway, yeah, so that's my take on it anyhow. So, okay, so the questions from the people who couldn't be here, and then I will run in and show y'all the room. And like I said, you're going to be like, it's not that bad, but you can't see the grime on it, you know what I mean? That I can, because I'm in person. But anyway, okay, so, yeah, I don't know what that was. Do you have any, number one was, do you have any bad habits on trail, food-wise, personal care, etc.? So, personal care, I'm pretty good. Like, as far as I always brush my teeth in the morning and not, I mean, I can count on my one hand the times that I have missed brushing my teeth in the morning and night on this trail so far. Like, and it's less than 5. It's probably more like 3, because I have nightmares about losing my teeth if I don't brush my teeth. It's awful. But I would say that my bad habit is probably when I'm not in Grizz country, cooking, you know, laying in my sleeping bag and having my foods or my tent smell like food. You know, it's not good to do. I know that. And even in black bear country, you know, it's better safe than sorry. But I just really like to cook dinner while I'm sleeping in, or while I'm sleeping, while I'm laying in my sleeping bag. So I'd say that's probably my worst habit. Yeah, that's the worst one I can think of right now. But otherwise, no, I'm pretty good. I mean, I eat terrible, you know, for the most part. But number 2, will you do live Q&As after you get home? Yes, I will continue at least once a month. I mean, if y'all were interested in doing them more than once a month, then I would certainly, you know, every other week or something like that. You know, of course, there isn't as much to talk about unless y'all just want to talk about life and, you know, whatever. I'm totally fine with that. Like I said before, you know, y'all feel like family to me now. And so I'd be fine with doing that, you know, talking about just whatever, have a little powwow, talk about goals and laugh and, you know, whatever's going on. But yeah, I do always continue the Q&As. Okay, let's see. Then I've got major questions about your toes, concerned they will get infected again and potentially ruin your hike. You should be feeling no pain now, and if you are, something is wrong. Seems minor. Ingrown toenails seem minor to people who don't get them, but they can ruin your life. Yeah, I mean, I certainly before thought of like, oh, an ingrown toenail, you know, what's the big deal? But yeah, I understand. And yes, they are still painful. But I'm gonna run out the antibiotics, and then hopefully I'll be in a actual town and can get them seen about. So yeah, I think I'll just, if it works out, I just get them cut out, lay up a day on a 0, and then head back out. So, but with Kyle, so Kyle's on his way back out here to kind of be a support for us and take us in and out of towns and stuff. So he'll be able to take me somewhere, you know, to get it seen and not be hitchhiking and all that. So I just wanted to hold over till then. And the last question that I have from somebody who could not be here is, do you feel a spiritual connection to the magnificent nature, or just in awe over what the Big Bang has given us over 13.8 billion years? So I don't know if this is more like a religious question or what, which I don't feel like is, you know, really worth getting into. I think that regardless of your religion or your belief, you know, whether you think God created it or not, you know, I think the fact that nature is so therapeutic to people and that it's something to marvel in, I think that that's the whole point. And I would say that I do feel connected to nature when I'm out in it, you know what I mean? And I think it's important to focus on that when you're out in it. I don't think that I can telepathically talk to animals, you know, necessarily like that. I met a man in the grocery store a couple of weeks ago, and he told me that when I go into Grizz country, I need to step in there and in my mind let them know that I'm here and I come in peace and that we're just going to coexist together, and telepathically like channel that to them. And I was just like, okay, that's what you do has worked for you so far. Okay, you know, maybe I'll try. So I don't think like that, but I do feel like humans are a part of nature and we are meant to interact with it and we are meant to be out in it. And, you know, I feel like we have removed ourselves so much and put ourselves in these boxes that aren't natural. Like, we forget that that is not natural to us, to live in a box and to not interact with nature and to not feel, you know, dirt on your skin and to not have those experiences. And I think that that is important, and your mental health and your physical health and all around. Even if that's just going outside and gardening, you know, planting flowers and getting your hands dirty. You know, I don't think that you have to go live out in the woods and smell bad for 6 months to get that experience, but we just forget that we are supposed to be here, you know, unless the aliens dropped us off. But like, we are a part of this earth and we should be out in it and experiencing it. So that's all I have to say about that. That's my take on that. So Okay, so let's see. Thanks for spending time with us. Get some rest. I have to go buy a ham radio now. That's awesome. So y'all have a convert. Fred said, if you are going to buy a ham radio, be advised that you're required to have a license. Oh. Oh. See, I got a little, I can't even remember what it is now, off of Amazon. But I thought, are you saying that you have to have a license to speak on it? Yeah. So you can buy it, but to be able to speak on it and use it and interact, yes, you have to have a license. Okay, so Emily said, yes, would love the Q&A after CDT also. Okay, good, good. Dixie says, I love the Q&As, would love them after the trail too. Awesome. Sparky says, we are all space aliens. We probably are, yeah. Let's see, do ham radio learning and teaching segments during downtime. That's an idea. John says, live in a box and live between lines and red and green light. Yes, yes, exactly. And 3 + 2 is -1. Okay, Baofeng radio from Amazon. Yes, that's exactly what I got. Thank you. I couldn't remember what that was called. Nadine says, thanks, Dixie. Rest up and good luck with you and Aaron catching up with the percolator. Ah, I like how you spell that. Tim says, thanks for the Q&A. You and Aaron have a great night. Dixie says, you have to have a license to operate the ham radio. Yes, speak on it, yeah. Shame on whoever thumbs down this Q&A. We got a thumbs downer. That's all right. Hey, you can't win them all, y'all. You can't win them all. We'll just pretend it was somebody fat fingering on accident. But, okay, so for the room, like I said, you'll probably think it's not that bad, but all right. Ugh. Okay, so it's big. I'll give it that. This is Aaron. Oh, in his room. I'm coming into your setting this down. Okay. And very nice. Let's. Oh no! It's. Uh-oh. Losing signal. Oh no. Okay, maybe I'll just post pictures. Oh. Okay, let me turn it around. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Uh-oh. Yeah. So we're losing signal. The shower is grody, yes. I think it's buffering. I don't know. Let's see. Uh-oh. Well, I'm getting in, let's see. Yeah, the shower is grody. Let me his shower grout, yeah. Yeah, I just walked back outside because it was disconnecting, but so it's good that I sat outside to do the Q&A. What I was kind of thinking, but Fred says go to bed. Okay, y'all. Well, I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but I'm gonna sign out, and I'll post a couple of pictures from the room. Okay, bye, y'all. Thank you for being here. See you later.